Hello everyone, this is Gorillas Freak 23 again, and today I'm going to do an episode recap of episode 8 of the Challenge Free Agents. We're getting a little bit far in the season here, far I shall say, no I'm just kidding. Anyway, it's getting interesting, it's really boiling down to so many good competitors, and this is why I miss individual challenges, well not only individual, but one where we see one-on-one eliminations and stuff, and where a partner doesn't rely because we're really seeing who will strive to be the best here. So anyway, the whole episode was interesting in my opinion. I was a little disappointed with the eliminations, but let's get started with the drama. Basically, if you're a Nani fan or a Nani supporter, a Nani lover, or maybe you just like Nani, you might have different opinions. I don't have different opinions, but I will say it goes to show her true colors come out. Basically, as you may know, she's been dating Kahada, or they've been kind of going on and off on this whole season. However, they show her making out with Johnny Riley, which is funny. You knew it wouldn't be Johnny Bananas. But anyway, and then Kahada finds out, and he's disappointed, but then he comes up with well, maybe she just don't, know that she loves me and all that, and maybe she really loves me and she doesn't know how to say it and all that, and I feel bad for Kahada because he's a little naive, and he really does think she's in love with him, and I think she might have feelings for him, but let's face it, she's the one that just made out with Johnny Riley. So Nani's a slut, which is not too surprising because I think she was on Real World Back to Las Vegas too, but I still like Nani. I respect her as a competitor. I like her as a person. She usually tries to make things better, but some people might disown her now. So anyway, basically, I don't talk much about the hookups. I really don't care too much about them. I think they're probably, this whole show's probably set up, but I think they're definitely scripted fake anyway, just to add more drama. So, I don't really care too much about the hookups. So let's get to the mission, today's challenge, or whatever. Pretty disappointing because it was boring to watch coming from a viewer standpoint. It's going to be a team mission. 2 teams here, evenly divided out, of course. 7 on one team, 7 on the other. And this mission is called Hold That Pose. Basically, each team has to get all 7 of their players to hold a certain pose by grabbing onto these handles with bungees on them in a certain position. And you have to hold on to 2 handles that coordinate with the color that you're given. I know that sounds ridiculously complicated, and I'm sure it's complicated to implicate, but once you watch it on TV, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's really not too much hard to understand. So basically, it's just like the game Twister, only it's Twister on steroids here. You have to hold your pose sometimes in midair, and of course the strategy is to get your heavier people on the bottom and the lighter people on the top. And the first team to get all 7 of their players, all 7 have to do it, to hold their pose for 1 minute, they win. That means all 7 players. Now, if one person on your team doesn't hold the pose correctly for the full minute, it can be 59 seconds, you have to start all over again. So yeah, it's pretty intense shit. And the team captains are Johnny Riley, which this is his 2nd time. And the guy's luckier than shit. And the other one is Cara Maria. So, those are the team captains for the day. And basically, they picked their teams. And, just a long story. Well, let's make this short. You do have Johnny Bananas and Laurel on one team. I think that's Team Cara Maria. Or no, that's not Team Cara Maria. That's Team Johnny Riley. But on Cara Maria's team, you actually have Zach, CT. Cara Maria is really good herself. You got, I think you also have Nani. So, yeah, you got a pretty good team. And that's the way this goes. Of course, the teams with cancer, such as Laurel and Johnny Bananas, they can't work together. And then the other team, it's at the they hold their pose for a minute. So, Cara Maria's team, it's the one where, CT, Zach, Cara Maria, Nani, and all them, they win. It's actually kind of funny because towards the end of the mission, CT has to basically hold his own body weight because there's nobody below him. Him and Zach are at the bottom. And you see CT's feet just dangling above the ground, and Zach even comes out with if he falls, I'll kill him. It'd be kind of interesting to see him fight CT, but, CT ain't nothing anymore, it seems like. But I will say this is CT's best mission of the season, or best challenge, whatever you want to call it. So anyway, they win. And then it's the deliberation. CT and Zach and all of them agree it's time to end Preston's free ride to the final. Why? I don't know if they're afraid he'll be on another team with them, but there's only so many missions left before the final, so I think there's 3 missions before the final, so take the chance because you want him there in the final, because he will probably lose. So, but they decided to vote Preston in, and for the girls, they decided, guess who? Anissa. So, Anissa's going in for the second time in a row, and I think that's just because they see her as just old, not that good anymore, but you also want her in the final, because even though Anissa is an amazing physical competitor, long distance, she's terrible. So, why you wouldn't want these two in the final, I don't know, but that's just the way they decide. And, people are, of course, Preston said he's ready to prove himself and all that, and, well, then the elimination comes around, and the draw. And first of all, let me tell you what the elimination game is. It's Oppenheimer. It's the one where Zach beat Brandon in, Cara Maria beat LaToya in. It's where you run around that little narrow cage and you have to bust your opponent out and hit the bell at the end. Yeah, so, in Preston, he has done better this season. He's actually done kind of good, but you got to figure, he's one of the weakest competitors coming from a physical standpoint, if not the weakest male competitor. So, anyway, the draw comes around, and it boils down for the guys it's a 50-50 draw in the first place. Or no, it's 3 guys, and there's a 50-50 draw for the girls. It boils down to Johnny Riley and Kahutta, and Kahutta draws the kill card. So, once again, Johnny Riley, being the luckiest rookie in challenge history, probably, is able to avoid it again. And the guy isn't really that good of it. I don't know. I'd have to look at what he's actually done. He doesn't seem like he's done a whole lot, but either way, this guy's just getting lucky at this point. I don't know what to say, so, yeah, he gets to avoid it again. So, must be nice to be on your first challenge and avoid every elimination. And, of course, he's won a decent number of missions, but, it's just seems like they're never going to vote him in. What about his free ride? No disrespect to Johnny, seems like a nice guy, but what about him? I mean, he's definitely had a free ride. He's never even been on a challenge before until this one. So, unfortunately, the Oppenheimer matchup for the guys is Preston and Kahutta, the 2 weakest male competitors, coming from a physical standpoint. And Laurel draws the kill card for the girls, so we're going to see an amazing titanium matchup of Laurel and Anissa, who could both single-handedly probably take out Kahutta and Preston and Oppenheimer. And then we're going to see the exact polar opposite of Kahutta and Preston and Oppenheimer together, the 2 weakest male competitors coming from a physical standpoint. So, it starts out with the males. Well, I don't know if it actually starts out with the males, but it's actually the females, I think. But anyway, we'll start with the girls. Anissa and Laurel, they duke it out round 1. They are just even, but then the speed comes around and Laurel just edges out round 1. And then round 2 is the same way. Anissa slams Laurel. Laurel gets hurt. Not injured, but she's sore. She even said afterwards, but it just doesn't matter because even though they find themselves in a deadlock in the actual Oppenheimer elimination, when Laurel hits the bell, she wins round 2. So Laurel beats Anissa. It was a very hard-fought battle. Anissa's still probably, I think she's actually stronger as far as physical strength, but the speed caught up with her, and plus it's the fact that Anissa's approaching her mid-30s. She's just getting old anyway. So once again, I think it's Anissa's 10th challenge, 9th or 10th. I'll have to look that up. And she still has never won a challenge. Safe to say she probably won't, because not only is she getting old, but she's always been bad at long distance, and that's a big part of the final mission. So then it's time for the guys. It's actually a pretty good matchup because they even out physically. You got Kahutta, who's 5'6", about 145 pounds, versus Preston, who's pretty tall, 6'1", but he's only about 170 pounds, and he's just super weak, and he just has not an ounce of muscle on his body. And it's a pretty hard-fought battle. They both go at it real hard in the first round, And then Kahana goes super fast and is able to get around after they stop each other in the middle. And then basically the exact same thing happens the second round, except Preston gives more of a fight. But shouldn't be too much of a surprise. Kahana beats Preston. So the drama between Kahana and Nani will continue. I was actually, it was such a I mean, I can understand it was an even matchup, but you want to see, like, Zach and Brandon. You knew Zach was going to kill Brandon, and then this is just an even matchup between two weaklings, but you want to see, like, Zach and CT, Leroy and Zach, or Zach and Johnny. You want to see two big competitors go at it. You don't want to see these two, whatever. It was a pretty good matchup, though. I mean, it was even out at least, so Preston goes home finally. It's about damn time, but he did do better this season. I do like Preston. So anyway, that's that. It's getting interesting now. I don't know how much longer people like Kahana and Johnny Riley are going to stay around, but it's definitely going to get, it's Jessica, I think she's won 6 missions now, so Jessica's hanging in there. I mean, it doesn't look like she's ever going to go down. I don't know. I have a feeling next episode might be her swan song, though, but we'll see. It's getting interesting. I'm going to be very interesting to see who the final 8 people, 4 guys and 4 girls are, because one of them has to go home, and I have a feeling it's going to be nothing but solid competitors. So we'll see. And until next time, it's Gorillas Freak 23.